Let's come at this from a more personal angle. Think about how often you sit down to play or work already knowing your screen won't fully deliver. You expect blur in motion. You expect dark scenes to lose detail. You've learned to accept it. The Odyssey G7 exists for the moment you decide that acceptance isn't good enough anymore. Before you go further, take a quick look at the current price and availability. Displays like this tend to change quietly, and hesitation usually shows up later as regret. This is for the person who craves immersion without forcing it. You don't want exaggerated visuals or gimmicks. You want the screen to cooperate with your eyes. You're the kind of person who notices when a display breaks focus, when movement feels disconnected, when the image doesn't hold together under pressure. The first session feels different in a subtle way. The curve pulls your attention inward without demanding it. Motion stays smooth and predictable. Bright areas hold their intensity without flattening everything else. Dark scenes keep texture instead of turning into a gray mess. Your eyes relax because they're no longer correcting the image. In games, fast action stays readable. You don't lose clarity during intense moments. Competitive play feels more controlled because what you see stays consistent. In slower, cinematic titles, the screen adds scale and depth that flat panels just can't recreate. What really shifts is how natural the experience feels. Nothing screams for attention. The smoothness doesn't distract. The curve doesn't feel aggressive. Once you experience that balance, standard flat screens start feeling oddly disconnected, like they're holding the image at arm's length. Pause here and check stock again. Monitors in this category don't linger once people recognize what they offer. You might wonder if this is more screen than you need. That thought fades when you realize how many hours you spend in front of it. This isn't excess, it's comfort and control combined. Long sessions feel easier because the image stays stable and intentional. Here's the unexpected benefit: confidence in what you're seeing. You trust the screen. You react faster. You stay engaged longer because nothing visually pulls you out of the moment. Owning it feels deliberate. Like choosing a display built for people who care how things feel, not just how sharp they look on paper. Every time you sit in front of a more basic monitor, it feels like a compromise you're now aware of. Motion stays smooth and predictable, scenes feel immersive and cohesive, contrast feels strong and controlled, gameplay feels responsive and steady, long sessions feel easier on the eyes. It isn't compact, and it isn't entry-level priced. That's the trade. Eventually, comparison loses its grip. You realize you weren't looking for the biggest specs, you were looking for a screen that finally feels right. Check the price, trust your instincts, and don't let this become one of those upgrades you delay while your current screen keeps quietly holding you back.